Okay, what we're going to do today is have a look at virtual cameras in Cinemachine. This is quite a nice capability. The idea is you can control where the camera is looking at one of the characters. So let's grab Helen. Now, this Helen is a version of Royd Studio character, and I've added some extra things to it. We're going to see that in a moment. But if I drag Helen into the scene, gives her a starting point. I had a animation, a timeline already created with the walk animation already attached to it. So I've now got Helen walking along. This is all well and great, but now we want to get a camera. And so I want to start with a camera looking at her face when she's walking along. So what you can do is there's always one main camera, and what we're going to do is have these, what they call them, virtual cameras, and they control the position of the main camera. So it's sort of like instructions for the main camera what to do. So the main camera is always the one recording, but we're going to create some other virtual cameras to control it. And virtual cameras can be created from the Cinemachine menu, create virtual camera, and we've got virtual camera number 1. Now, virtual camera has got a number of capabilities, and one is it can follow something, and the other one is it can look at something. And so I'm going to start by, I want it to follow, it's going to be in front of Helen looking at her face. So the look at is going to be Helen, and the follow is also going to be Helen. So the question is, how are we going to make it look at her in the face? Now, I could just use her body, and it's got some XY offsets, and so you can adjust some of these things to because her root position is at her feet, and we want to look at her face. But what I've actually done for my characters is, because this is so common, is I've created a little object just inside, and it's basically the root, and I've moved it up to where her eye level is. And so this is just a convenient handle. So if I come across to the virtual camera object, I can drag this. I'm going to follow this position, and I'm going to look at this position. So I'm looking at the same thing, which is right between her eyes. Now, this is the movement, and what I want to do is I want the virtual camera to be in front of her. And so instead of being negative Z, I'm going to make it positive Z. So the camera is 3 meters in front of her looking back at her, and it can obviously adjust that. The other one is the aim at, and I want to aim straight at her face. So we click on the main camera. It gives us a bit of a clue. What is it going to look like? And I might say, maybe I'm going to move that only 2 meters ahead. And then if I click on the main camera down here, it's giving me a little bit of a view. I can also come up with the game view and see what it is. So now when we start walking along, the camera is always pointing at her face. Now there are some things like field of view that you can adjust. Whoops, sorry. I come into the virtual camera and I can adjust the field of view, and so I can look in or look out. I can just pick whatever I like. And we can move along. And I said, okay, well, that's all really nice, but then what I'd like to do is to have a panning out shot afterwards. So I'm going to actually create a second virtual camera, and this virtual camera I'm going to position at a fixed point. I go back into the scene view. It's an easier way to control things. I'm going to come up, and so that's about, and she's about here. I want the second virtual camera. Where was it gone? Oh, it's over in position 0. So here, I'm going to drag it over. It's probably a more efficient way, but just doing this quickly. So I'm going to put it up a little bit too far forward, but I'm going to put it up. Now, for the second one, I'm going to make it not move at all, but I'm going to have it look at her in the face as well. So it's going to be looking at her in the face. It's a look at target. but this one's not going to be moving. So if we have a look at camera 2, what we're going to do is add, now I want to pan from one camera to the other one. So I'm going to start with one camera, and there's a Cinemachine timeline track. If we create one of these, you drag the main camera down to be what is going to be controlled, and then we're going to drop camera 1 on there for a bit, and we're going to drop camera 2 after that, and then we're going to overlap them, and this will blend from one camera to the other. So then if we have a simple look, I'm going to move, and then the camera is going to sweep up and out for this external view. And so we can do a play. And she goes and walks past. And that is a very simple introduction to virtual cameras. You can get different camera angles. You can blend between them with overlaps and have panning shots between them. So it's a pretty cool capability.